bad boy away from my beard. Testing, testing. One, two, three. All right. Share screen. All right. Take a look at the broader market. Um, Yesterday, it was clear that after the tech news, uh, we had money leaving tech and into IWM. Hmm. As you can see, we got another higher low, higher high with a little bit of consolidation. So the question is, do we continue to see the rotation into tech, out of tech into IWM or somewhere else? Do we see all sectors hit the low and money leaving the market, or do we see money rotate back into QQQ and tech? Price action has been choppy up here. We do have a resistance zone right here. You can see that we came from the high. You had this little higher low, lower high, lower low. And then you can see that we came down. Here was the highest. The price couldn't be pushed back. On a gap up, we met with a rejection and then pushed price to another lower low. So which puts this as a very important spot. The other important spot was right here, just the highest structure. So you can see that we broke over and had a retest, and now we're here. And same thing with SPY. It's been very, very choppy. We're actually gapping up opening right now. We are. Like you can see with the price action here on the way up, with extended hours on or off, I just like to use one that's a bit more cleaner for me. You can see the trend here, a little higher low, quick higher low. And then you have this tightening range with a bull break back into range, and then a bull break back into range. So, I mean, bears can't even get price down to here right now, which is the bottom of the range, which you would think they'd be able to do. You can see that once we got back into range here, it should have went there. It didn't. Then you even got a little lower low and didn't. So, like we keep on saying this, like what's it going to take for the Bears to even do the most minuscule of things, and they continue to fail. So it's definitely interesting from that standpoint. So it's very hard to look bearish. Um, Very hard to look bearish. QQQ's range looks a little bit different. Actually, looks a lot of bit different. As QQQ has been like essentially consolidating sideways and up, which is very strong. And even though we keep getting to resistance, you could almost see like some sort of channel forming. So I guess let's see what it looks like the standard hours. So yeah, I mean it's similar. I'm not a big trend line guy, but we do know that there's a battle here. There's a little bit of a rising channel, and you know, it's not a rising wedge though; it's a channel. So there's a chance we can just grind up and up and up and up and up. I guess it will lean in on this fence of being a cautious bull because of a rising channel ish type pattern. Um, Being a little bit more protective. But Meta with the gap up yesterday, I just was thinking to myself, this it just feels like a spot to sell because it's the gap up after a big move up, and it's also like such a euphoric type of move that that gets people all like discombobulated and whatnot. So it was a perfect spot to go short. Um, did I? No. Um, One of the main reasons why I didn't though was because well, I tried to go short on QQQ uh, after the fact, but on the open I did not. I've been trying to utilize this wait 15-minute rule, but these hard rules are just not very good. I don't think. Um, and I have to watch out for wash sales. So a lot of these tech names I can't even really trade because of the wash sale situation. I'd create more wash sales, more wash sales. So Tesla going up still. If you go back to videos from way back here, I talked about how I think we're going to stop everybody out and then we're going to go up in some way, shape, or form. And of course, I don't have a position, which is fucking great. And I don't know why I don't. It just was very tricky. It's because at this time here, you think it's going to go down because the broader market was looking very weak, and it's very unlikely for SPY to go up if the market was going to stay weak. That was the real thing. I just wasn't a believer after we got the monthly consolidation, the daily trend change. I just wasn't a believer that we were just going to like pop straight back up again, but we did. So yeah, I mean double bottom here. I guess you could have pulled this bull break up here. The only issue with that is, well, I guess there was this inverse head and shoulders right here. As for today, I'm not really sure what I'm playing, if I'm being completely honest. CDE was the name that I was potentially looking at. Now it's gapping up. Watching potentially WFC. We had a break of this level here. So looking for a potential back test of this level. I am a little bit worried that this level would be the level that's back tested instead of this level, which would be aggressive. To get in here with the stop underneath this candle would be my play. MNMD might be an interesting one today. It's got this inverse head and shoulders. You can see that we had a double top here. And then we broke the lows. You can see that we got back over it, back under it. Big move up. And then here's your back test essentially. To break this top here, we'd definitely be looking back up here. Let's see what the hourly looks like on this little consolidation range. I want to take off extended hours here. I mean, it kind of has a kind of has that vibe, eh? So maybe some sort of back test here. I mean, we're just basically just using trend line at this point. But the daily higher low was set yesterday. Was set here too. Now this was an inside bar, but we're gonna follow through. Consolidation, consolidation, up above. I mean, ugh. The other side of this coin is this, which is this is just a range. So this is the range, bull break, no follow through, rejection here, double top, rejection here, break the lows. Here's your lower high, there's your lower low. No follow through into a big bull move. So like this changes things, right? Like this completely changes things. So you saw like this little back test and go. So yes, it looks like a head and shoulders, but that's just a pattern, right? What's really going on? And what's really going on is we're just trapped inside of this range. So I like it a lot less now. So you don't love that as much. Netflix had some news trying to buy out Warner Brothers. Netflix is still kind of looking for a monthly high or low. Weekly trying to bounce, but not really. I mean, sideways and down, that's not a good look. Looks like bears can continue to rock this thing to the downside. And then you can just see that we had this push down. This is where it gets a little bit fuzzy, but you end up getting a bear break, a back test. I mean, it looks so easy, doesn't it? Entra staying strong here. Had a sideways consolidation with a bull break. Let's see what it looks like on the day on the hourly. Yeah, it kind of gives you that trampoline type pattern ish. It's more so just a tightening range. The low. So here's a consolidation. There's your high, and then there's your range. Gotta love this candle. Gotta love this back test here. And it bounces all the way up. I mean, I guess. I mean, you have to be realistic when you can actually get in the trade. Yeah, I mean, to get in here and have your stop way down there is kind of ridiculous. Don't want to be looking too short today, but AMD is definitely a name that's on that list. With the broader market so strong, it's hard to see AMD go down here. And as for the price action, I mean, they kind of have this little double bottom. It might be better off just calling it a tweezer bottom. Is it on the? Yeah, I mean, this looks a lot better to me. Maybe call this a tweezer bottom. You got to move up. You get this nice wick here. And then the price action. I mean, that's a really bearish candle. It's a bearish candle. And yet it still doesn't get any follow through, which is just so insane. Let's see what that level is on the daily. So, yeah, it's essentially the consolidation. And you can see that looks a little wonky. This is the November 20th candle. I mean, AMD is one of the very few names that are still underneath this level, underperforming, like just immensely underperforming. So yeah, AMD weakness is definitely huge. So yeah, interesting name here. I mean, if you look at some of the other names here, I mean, we'll just go into, let's see some of these weekly bounces here. I mean, AMD is barely over its last week's candle. I mean, Nvidia is slightly stronger. I mean, last week's candle was huge. Marvell. Hmm. SMA. Look at that bounce on SMH. I mean, it might be worth shorting AMD if SMH gets the highs here. Because there might be some bears looking to top fish this weekly lower high here with the amount of volume we had on the way down here and the amount of volume today's Friday that we have on the way up here. So AMD was stronger than SMH until we got this weird little lower low. And this is like the first lower high for that, right into this gap fill range with a lot of room to go down. Yeah, I think AMD is a good short. But where? That's always the hard part is where. I think it's going to be short. I think it's a good short. Where do I get invalidated? Well, where do I get invalidated? Honestly, it's way up here. That's where I get invalidated. So we can't use that. We cannot use that level. It's too far away. There's a big node right here. We could use that level. We could use this guy. But that's the problem because I'm just picking a level. I guess what I'd want to see. We go to the hourly. We can look for some ranges here. So we had this really big move down here from this spot. But you can see this interesting spot here where we had the low. Bulls tried to protect it, tried to double bottom here, met rejection here, and then fell through. Then it even tried to come back up again for more, and he got rejected. So it's like really this whole entire range here. So it's on a daily, but it's clear on the hourly. So I'm going to mark it as an hourly. That way I just know that, okay, look, boom. And you can even see it better here. Well, look at that. Pre-market, they tried to push it even higher, stopping out all the people here that are that were getting nervous. Well, I know of that if QQ is leading the way down and semis are also weak, and all sectors hit the low, AMD is definitely a name that I am just market buying into. So we have AMD. Short, of course. Getting killed short. I don't want to play this name today as I am very upset about missing this, but shit goes on. Um, I wonder if day 2 of Quantum, but usually after a day like this, I mean, you'd think that it's just going to tighten up into this range here. Are there any? Maybe there's other names that I'm just missing. Is silver gonna have a date today? Silver's up pretty big. So I had this little level here, but I'm gonna delete it because I just if it's blue, it's a 5 minute, and I don't want anything to do with that. Let's go to the weekly here. Weekly is still with a higher high here. We had a double top and then a break. So I mean, this little level right here is an important level. Obviously, everybody's watching this level here. And that's on a weekly level. That needs to be marked with a purple. Then we go to daily. And we can see that we have this cup and handle like formation. Even though it dipped about further, stopped everybody out, and then went straight up. So you would think that everybody got dipped out here will be looking for a higher low, or people who just didn't get into the trade be looking for a higher low. It seems like everybody and their mother are probably watching for this level right here. And I don't know if that's going to happen. Go to the 4-hour chart. This started to resemble a head and shoulders pattern. A failed head and shoulders pattern would be a daily bull flag. And again, you have this right shoulder with the higher high, support holds. Then you have, again, the higher high. No follow through. And if we get a lower high, lower low, that'd be the structure break. It's a weird pattern because you usually don't see this on the daily time frame. Like that. Boy, this thing likes to stop people out before it goes up, eh? It's the second time it's done that. And then you can see once this happens, right here, volume comes in. This is people being stopped out. So I don't recommend going short here because of how insane this chart looks. Daily higher low, higher highs after a bit of a fight, a weekly, sorry. Daily, this was a daily downtrend. Inverse head and shoulders, bull break. Boom. Damn, my wrist is killing me. So honestly, I wouldn't look for shorts, but I'd be looking for a bear break to not quite get down to this level here. And then maybe some sort of bull flag. If it does break, I mean, you're here's the thing. Like, you're gonna get this move no matter, like, if this move happens, you're gonna get this, right? So you're gonna, on a very rare occasion you'll get the clean sweep down, but there will be more traders looking for what I just talked about. So there will be a push above, and there will be a fight here, and then maybe there'll be a bull move to lift off, or the bears will again take back over. But I do think that because of the way the daily is set up, or that is going to be something that people look to trade, and what matters is, are there going to be enough people to buy it to do that? Are there institutions going to be there? And you have to watch out for that, because the masses will see this and they'll say, okay, Head and Shoulders down to here, and then reevaluate. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets down here, just elevator down. Like, I just have this suspicion when things are too obvious in the market, it just becomes um, definitely not like a hype name. Like, hype name and very obvious just never ends well. How's gold looking? Gold with a weekly high or low. Again, it was a daily head and shoulder, daily inverse head and shoulders type look. This one was a little different. This one was just a break and a retest. Bitcoin's going down. Looking for a higher low here. Yeah, I just don't know. Just gonna delete this. These ranges confuse me more than anything else. At least on Bitcoin they do. So what this tells me right now is that you have this move up, you have the higher low, you have the higher high set, higher low set. You get above this level here, right here. You get the bull break on lower volume than this candle. So you had interest here on the way up, and then you didn't have as much interest on the actual break. So it looked like there was more interest on just higher low. It pulled back over 60%. So it looked like people were just like willing to take profit here and not try to, push their luck on this name, and they jumped ship. Now I think that leaves two different things happening here. That now leaves some opportunity, as we had a higher high with no follow through. That could potentially be a rising wedge forming, right? And clearly there's that. So this could definitely be some sort of rising wedge forming here. I would say that makes the most sense to me right now. I think you can make a case for bulls to look for another higher low here, but the only reason that I'm cautious of that is because on this higher low, on the original higher low, they didn't get interested until past the 60% mark, right? They waited for the golden pocket to get interested. So, or even further down, right? It wasn't a clean hold. So if I'm looking at this from a bull perspective and I'm saying, wow, the bulls weren't interested and it wasn't even that clean, well past the 50% mark, then what makes me think that there's going to be people stepping up around the 382 or the 50% mark this time around? Right? Because you have two things that are looking better for the bears, which is one, we had this huge move down. Two, we have the bull break with no follow through on lighter volume. And then three, we have that the bulls were not interested in this higher low until pretty deep. You could combine that. You could combat that with, well, at least they didn't get down to the very bottom, right? At least they didn't wait till the double bottom to get interested. And what I would say to that is yeah, I guess you're right. Like the bears could not get priced back down to this level here. So that is a negative for bears. But again, you have to who is the the burden on? The burden is on the bears, the bulls because of this. Okay, so burden is on the bulls. So yes, you are right. But it's still, from percentage standpoint, they weren't interested till down here. So now that you have two lines here, a potential, trend line, maybe they'll be interested around here, somewhere on this line, for a third bottom. But I just don't see where the longs are for today. And we see Bitcoin we just off the jump. So again, we have, oh, this freaking glare. Holy shit. Jesus, man. Ugh. So a lot of people might see this higher low, higher high. Looking good. You have the daily trend change, but I don't think that's the case. Let's zoom into the 4-hour hourly, see if there's any clues. Hmm. Well, there's definitely some capitulation here. There was no resistance built on the way, support built on the way down. But if I'm trying to use limit orders, where would those orders go? That's the hardest part. Where would those orders go? I mean, there's sideways range here that broke bear. But using a structure inside of a structure is just, oh god, it makes me sick to my stomach. I guess we could look at some of the crypto miners to see if there's anything. I don't want this running without me. But what am I supposed to do if I don't have a game plan? So we have coin at this range here. It did break bear. It got follow through, higher low. There's your higher high rejection off of the 200 day. I mean, coin could be a pretty good short today, I guess. I don't like that it's I don't like that it's above the value area high. But rejection from the 200 day is a good look. Just 6%. Bitcoin's going down. Oh, come on, Bitcoin. It says dumping. Well, let me rephrase that. It's not dumping, but so we have coin here. Breaking the low of yesterday. Potential break and retest of that level, maybe. Monster's not as weak. Riot. Seems like Coinbase is the most has the most similar price action to Bitcoin. Then obviously IBIT. Guess we could use IBIT as well if we wanted to. It has very similar price action. It's a gap fill right here. Oh boy. All right, well that's gonna do it for me. I'll be watching Bitcoin and company for shorts, and I'll keep an eye on quantum again potentially. And yeah, I think that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later.